Welcome to Bimbos and Bigfoot. This is Amanda.
This is Trixie.
Welcome to the newest cryptozoology podcast. We are excited to launch this project into the Sasquatch community. The inspiration for starting this podcast was because Trixie and myself noticed there wasn't a lot of women in the Bigfoot world. Today, this is going to be our pilot episode. First, we thought we would introduce ourselves maybe and talk about our backgrounds in Bigfoot. And Trixie, when did you get your interest in Bigfoot? How did that happen?
I've been interested in Bigfoot for, oh gosh, I can't even remember.
Forever, right? Forever.
10, 20 years.
Trixie got our family into Bigfoot, honestly.
I was a nerd, nobody liked me in school. I didn't have a lot of friends, so like other nerdy scientists out there, I started reading.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you just, you stumble upon, maybe the Loch Ness Monster. Then I'm down a wormhole into the world of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And big guy, the hairy beast, big guy's out there. And you read, you see what people say online, and that many people just cannot be lying. And, everybody has their own experiences, but I've been a fan of Bigfoot. And then you get into YouTube, you see the Patterson-Gimlin film, and then she does that turn towards the camera.
I feel like Bigfoot's just such a being, like gender wouldn't matter to the Bigfoot. The only time that Sasquatch gender matters is when you're looking at genetics and height and sightings.
And mating grounds.
Yeah, mating grounds. When you're looking at how hard, like a wood knock hits. When you're looking at the kind of frequencies of
how
a howl.
high or low it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that that's something to be considered. But let us know in the comments if we're missing something about the Patterson-Gimlin film in regards to its gender.
Studying it over
Trixie's
and over
had
again.
actually a fair amount of nightmares, and she has actually
It's been
had,
hard.
I guess...
The encounters last just a second, but, the night terrors stay with you forever. I just get chills. My hair stands up on the back of my neck when I start thinking about the way it's glowing yellow eyes peered over that tree branch. The tree branch was well in the air, at least 7 feet. It must have been a male. Deep growl.
And where was this again?
Oh, well, back in Mima's backyard, when we were kids. I peered
in Pulaski, Virginia?
I looked out.
Yeah.
I looked out.
Pulaski, Virginia is a kind of hot spot for Bigfoot activity just because of the lack of human population in the more hilly areas.
Hilly.
Yeah,
it is hilly. I don't think a lot of people know that because I don't think a lot of people know Pulaski, Virginia exists, but that's where Bigfoots are going. They're not going to these highly populated cities. Boom, cars, loud noises. No. The Bigfoot is smart, knows how to hide. He's not going to walk into traffic, and if he's seen, then he wants you to be seen. No, he wants to be seen by you.
Yeah.
Bigfoots are deliberate. You think that big guy's dumb?
Yeah, I think that, those are the only times I question encounters. Is if someone saw the Bigfoot in a highly populated place. I'm not going to sit here and say that I believe everything.
But how many times have you seen a fox in your backyard in the middle of the day?
Yeah, think about deer, turkey, anything like that. That could be crossing your path. Like, most of the time it's not going to happen in a highly populated area or during the day. But I'm not going to sit here and, exclude every encounter, but I'm going to be skeptical. So... But I guess, Trixie's just been involved in the Bigfoot community since she was very young. And I remember her talking about it since she was, I think when you were 10, it was kind of you were just playing around the field.
When I was 13, I was doing wood knocks in the backyard.
Yeah, I was about to say, I felt like you were starting to get... Yeah, I was going to say it at about, 11, after that first year of initial interest, that's when you started talking to me about it.
That's when Dad heard the response call.
Yeah, and he only told you about it.
Gosh, and I've taught my little sister everything that I know about the big guy. You know, we're out there 11 p.m. at night doing wood knocks, just hoping that we get something on camera. And, you know, it always seems like when you're least expecting it, that's when he comes around, you know? But it's important to get out there every night and, you know, try, because this is a huge scientific journey we're all on.
Yeah.
To prove its existence. Some people, you know, haters are gonna say, like, no, it's not, we don't have proof. And it's like, yeah, there is proof, you're just not reading it.
Yeah, and you're not looking into it enough. You're not...
Yeah, you're just shutting down the conversation. But I'm here to open that conversation up and say he is real.
So, yeah, in terms of my involvement in Bigfoot, I would say Trixie definitely was the one who kind of introduced me to Sasquatch. I think a lot of my cryptozoology did circle around like the Loch Ness Monster and things like that initially, until we went on to some trails and Trixie was pointing out some footprints to me. At the time, though, I would say Trixie was about 21 and I was about 19, and I would say that we didn't have the supplies or the credibility to document these footprints or things like that. So unfortunately we don't have, you know, pictures of those things, but they were definitely ingrained in my mind and solidified my belief in the big guy. I think that too, if there's so many people claiming that this giant man like creature exists, that they're not all liars. And I think that scientists don't take this seriously enough.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but, you know, there's so many
reputable
scientists, you know, such as like
spokespeople.
Eugene Yost. I mean, Paul Willis. I mean, there's so many that I can think of. Tony and Woody Pratt. I mean, there's just Richard Null. I mean, Joel Picknell. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Like Henry Newman. I mean, like, do I need to continue? Mm-hmm. I mean, people are really just shutting down a dialogue about a conversation that's really important because they're scared.
Yeah, they are. They're scared to face the reality.
And it is scary. But when you see him...
Oh, for sure. 110%.
You'll feel it inside of you.
Yeah, you will. And it'll shake you to your core. I think, too, I had this friend at one of my old workplaces who was really into Bigfoot. And he articulated to me that he had a coworker from a previous employment who saw 15-foot tall, silver-haired, Sasquatch-like creature.
They do age.
They do age. And to me, my automatic reaction was like, wait, is that a Yeti? Because you guys were in the Appalachian Mountains. Like, what's going on here? But I think that his coworker probably knew better than I did. But 15 foot tall, too, that's huge.
I mean, yeah.
That's huge. And they're elusive as hell.
That's no juvenile, I'll tell you that much, you know?
That's definitely not a juvenile. Yeah, absolutely not. I feel like, you know, the reason we really wanted to get into this podcast was just because when you look at the Bigfoot community, you don't see a lot of women speaking out about them being Bigfoot believers in a media diverse way.
I know Bigfoot exists. I don't just believe in it. I know.
100%. Yeah, and I think that a lot of these TV shows and these other podcasts are run by men. Yeah, and I just don't... I feel like, too, in the Bigfoot world, like, women can offer something more. We can offer a different analysis of behavior. We can offer different experiences. And that's what's going to make this podcast so eye-opening for people. And we're really hoping that everyone's going to enjoy this concept.
I don't want to hear anyone compare us to Renee Holland. Because we're not skeptics.
Absolutely
and we're not ginger either.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, Renee is kind of the main figurehead right now, but Renee is so skeptical that it kind of puts a damper on things. I feel like
she doesn't take it seriously.
No, she doesn't, and that's kind of like why we're leaning into this. And in terms of topics, I think we're going to reach out to specific events in the next few episodes, specifically something that could be categorized as the Bigfoot creeper.
Bigfoot peeping Tom.
That was a really big event in the Bigfoot community in terms of just every facet because it gets so deep.
That one has a lot of layers to it, so be ready to dive in.
Yeah, and I think, too, we also want to cover other conspiracies and other cryptozoology, so don't be surprised if you hear things about sea creatures, Yeti.
Mothman.
Loch
Ness Monster. I mean, Dave.
Yeah, 100%.
Werewolf. The New Jersey Devil.
Yeah, and different, forms of Sasquatch or creatures, chupacabra.
Absolutely.
All that throughout the world. We don't want to limit our podcast to just Sasquatch because, we can talk about Sasquatch all day, but then we're not recognizing everything else that could be happening out there.
I mean, heck, I could talk about Sasquatch all year.
100%. And if you have any, critiques, comments, desires, questions, please leave a comment on this video or on the post that is going to premiere this video. Please subscribe. And definitely like. And I think also we're going to try to come up with a regular schedule. What day of the week works best for you? What do you prefer?
Do you want us to read submissions from your Bigfoot encounters?
Should we be setting up an email? Should we be setting up a way for people to call in eventually? Do you like seeing just the plain logo screen? Or would you prefer to see us in person? Sometimes I feel like, just having the plain screen is nice because you don't have to pay attention to what's going on YouTube. You can just walk around your house with this blasting on a podcast. So, but yeah, that was this is our pilot episode, our trial run, and we hope that you'll enjoy and you'll interact with this. Once again, give a thumbs up, subscribe.
Bye to the Bigfoot world.
Bigfoot world.
See y'all too soon.
Too soon.